Hey everyone. Have you ever, I don't know, come across a word that seems really simple at first, but then the more you think about it, you realize it has all these, hidden depths to it?
Yeah, totally. It's amazing how much weight a single word can carry.
Right. And that's what we're diving into today, this idea of jala, which is an Arabic word.
Especially, I think, in a text like the Quran,
Yeah.
where words can have so many layers of meaning.
Yeah. And we're using this super intriguing book called Almighty's Transformation, Jala. It's like a guide for our deep dive today.
Oh, cool.
It explores how Jala goes way beyond just made or created.
Yeah, I mean, the book's title itself is really interesting, right? Because it's not just Almighty's creation, it's Almighty's transformation, which kind of points to this idea of Jala not just being a one-time thing, but this ongoing active force.
Okay, so if you say God made the heavens and the earth, that's Jala on a massive scale, right?
Immediately, yeah.
But then we also see all these verses where God is transforming night into day, or, transforming something into something else. And it makes you wonder, is this the same idea?
That's where it gets really interesting, because making feels very finite, right?
Yeah.
Like it has a start and a finish. But when the Quran talks about God transforming something, it suggests this constant state of change. It's like a dance between opposites, wouldn't you say?
That's a cool way to put it. So it's less about God creating something static and more about this continuous interaction, this back and forth.
Exactly. And this idea of duality, of things existing in pairs, in this kind of push and pull that are always in flux. It's a recurring theme in the Quran. There's actually a verse in Surah Al-Zariyat, verse 51.49, that actually says, "And of everything we have created pairs that you may reflect."
Oh, wow. So light and darkness, male and female, good and evil, those kinds of pairs.
Precisely. And the way the Quran presents this pairing, it's not random or arbitrary.
Right.
It's pointing to a balance, a dynamic interplay that's guided by, divine will.
Yeah.
And we see this again in Surah Al-Nur, verse 24.35, where it says, God provides for you a light by which you walk. It's not just saying, here's the light, do whatever you want. This really emphasizes the transformative power of Jala to bring about change, to shift something from a state of darkness to light.
So it's like God is continually reshaping and rebalancing the universe through this power of Jala. That's pretty mind-blowing when you think about it like that.
It really is. And that actually leads us to another really fascinating concept in all of this, which is this idea of uplifting and downgrading as aspects of Almighty's transformation, right?
Okay, now this is where things start to get really interesting for me. So we're not just talking about things changing, but about a deliberate shift in their status, their importance in a way.
You hit the nail on the head.
I'm hooked. Tell me more.
Our source material highlights this word, Jala.
Okay.
Which emphasizes this concept of balance. So when one thing is elevated, another has to be lowered. It's presented as a reflection of God's judgment and favor, wouldn't you say?
So, if someone is righteous, their station is elevated in the eyes of God. And those who choose a different path, they experience a sort of spiritual lowering.
Exactly. It suggests that this dynamic moral order is woven into the very fabric of existence. However, I don't think it's about a simplistic system of rewards and punishments.
Right.
It's more nuanced than that. It's about
this constant interaction, this ongoing relationship between God and creation, right?
Yes.
Guiding and shaping it according to this balance. It's like a dance between justice and mercy, right?
It's a beautiful way to put it. It's this dance between justice and mercy, this ebb and flow of divine influence.
Yeah.
And we see this reflected so clearly in the lives of the prophets and throughout many of the Quran's most powerful stories. Wouldn't you agree?
100%. The story of Adam and Eve, right? Their expulsion from the Garden of Eden. That's a major example of downgrading, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Surah Al-Baqarah, verse 2.61, describes their expulsion from paradise as both a physical and a spiritual descent.
Wow.
They go from this state of pure connection with God to one of separation and struggle.
It's interesting because their story isn't just about punishment, is it?
No.
It's about this fundamental human experience of seeking knowledge, of making choices, and then having to face the consequences, both good and bad.
It's a story that resonates across cultures and throughout time because it speaks to that very human experience, that longing for knowledge and understanding but also the responsibility that comes with it.
And that concept of responsibility is so central to how Jala plays out, right? It's like we have free will, we make choices, and those choices have a ripple effect. They cause shifts and transformations in our own lives and in the world around us. It makes you think about the butterfly effect, you know?
That's a really insightful connection to make. And the Quran is full of examples that illustrate how this concept of Jala goes beyond just, individual actions.
Yeah.
It touches on the very fabric of reality. For instance, in Surah Al-Ghashiyah, verse 88.18, God points to the heavens and how they were raised. This suggests an incredible act of cosmic transformation, when you say.
It's Jala on a massive universal scale. And that's what's so mind-blowing about all of this. We often think of creation as this one-time event, but the Quran suggests it's an ongoing, dynamic process. And it's not just about physical creation either. It's about spiritual transformation, too. It's about God's constant interplay with creation, shaping and reshaping it according to this divine balance.
You're absolutely right. And it's this constant interplay, this dance between justice and mercy, that makes the concept of Jala so compelling.
It really makes you think twice about the power of a single word, doesn't it? Jala isn't just about something being made. It's about this dynamic, ongoing process of transformation that touches every aspect of existence.
And as we delve deeper into the Quran, we'll see even more examples of how this concept of Jala plays out in the lives of the prophets and in the very fabric of reality.
It's like each story, each verse adds another layer of understanding to what Jala truly means.
And, it's really those examples from the Quran where this whole concept of Jala starts to come to life.
Absolutely.
We're not just talking about abstract ideas here. We're seeing how this divine power plays out in these really powerful narratives.
Exactly. Give me an example. What's a story from the Quran where we see Jala at work, like shaping things in a really dramatic way?
Well, we were just talking about Adam and Eve, right?
Right.
Their expulsion from the garden, it's a perfect example of Jala as this force of change. Surah Al-Baqarah, verse 2.36, describes it as this casting down, this transition from a higher state to a lower one, both physically and spiritually.
So it's more than just being told to, go stand in that corner.
Exactly.
It's about a change in their very being.
Yeah. And the word Ja'ala, it emphasizes this idea that this transition isn't accidental. It's a deliberate act. It's a consequence of their choice to seek knowledge that was,
Forbidden
to them.
Right.
And you see this shift in their relationship with God.
Yeah.
And a shift in their understanding of the world around them.
It's like their expulsion sets in motion this whole cycle of Jala playing out. Their actions leading to consequences, which lead to further transformations, both in themselves and in the world around them.
Precisely. And we see that cycle, in a way, throughout the Quran, wouldn't you say?
Totally.
Like in the story of Noah's Ark.
Oh, yeah.
Surah Hud, verse 11.48, describes the moment when Noah is instructed to descend from the ark. It's the end of one chapter and the beginning of another.
It's like the downgrading of the flood eventually leads to the uplifting of a new beginning, a world that's been, cleansed and renewed. And that act of descending from the ark, that's not just about stepping off a boat, is it? It's about stepping into this new world, this new era.
You're right. It's a powerful image of transition, of moving from this state of confinement and trial to one of freedom and new possibility. And it embodies, that cyclical nature of Jala.
Right.
The way that God can bring about renewal and upliftment, even after these periods of hardship, and difficulty.
Right. It really makes you realize that uplifting and downgrading, it's not always about good versus bad or right versus wrong. It's more about this constant work of rebalancing, guiding creation towards, this higher purpose.
It's a really profound way to look at it. And I think we see that reflected in so many stories from the Quran.
Yeah.
Think about the prophet Idris, for instance. Surah Maryam, verse 19.57, tells us that he was uplifted by God. And it doesn't just mean physically raised up, right? It's talking about a kind of spiritual elevation, a recognition of his righteousness, his closeness to God.
And then you have sort of the opposite of that in Surah Al-Araf, verses 7.175-176, where you have this story of a prophet who strays from the path, which is a very stark example of spiritual downgrading, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, it's a more tragic story, right? It's a reminder that even those who are chosen can fall from grace. And the word Jala is used there to really highlight the consequences of his actions, the spiritual decline that results from that choice to turn away from God.
It's like a cautionary tale in a way, but also a reminder that even when we make mistakes, even when we experience setbacks, God's mercy is always there, offering a path back to that higher state of being. We have the power to choose our actions, and those choices, they have the power to transform us.
That's a beautiful way to put it. It's that interplay between our free will and God's guidance. That makes this concept of Jala so dynamic and so relevant even to our lives today, wouldn't you agree?
Absolutely. And the story of Abraham and Ishmael building the Kaaba, that's another great example of how Jala isn't just about individual transformation. It's also about the creation of something sacred, something that elevates a whole community.
You're right. In Surah Al-Baqarah, verse 2.127, the word Jala is used to describe both the physical construction of the Kaaba
Right.
and that spiritual significance that was imbued upon it. It became a focal point for worship, a symbol of unity, submission to God's will.
And what I think is so fascinating is how that one act of Jala, the creation of the Kaaba, continues to have this transformative impact on millions and millions of people even to this day. It's a testament to the enduring power of Jala, wouldn't you say?
It really is. And speaking of enduring power, this reminds me of a particularly striking passage in the Quran that really gets to the heart of the transformative power of Jala and the consequences of rejecting God's message. It's a bold statement, but
Ooh, okay, tell me more. What passage are you thinking of?
it's in Surah Al-Ghashiyah, but we'll get to that in just a moment.
You were about to share that passage from Surah Al-Ghashiyah before we got sidetracked talking about the Kaaba. Something about the transformative power of Jala, right?
Yes. Surah Al-Ghashiyah, verse 18, God says, "How can you deny the day of recompense when the heavens above you were once like smoke, and then he transformed them into a magnificent canopy?"
Wow, I never thought about it like that before, connecting the creation of the heavens to this idea of recompense,
Right.
of divine justice.
It's a powerful image, right? It's like the Quran is reminding us that God, who is able to transform something as vast and formless as smoke into the heavens, also has the power to transform our lives, to bring about that reckoning, a balancing of the scales, so to speak.
It makes you think about all those verses we've been talking about, right?
Yeah.
The uplifting of the righteous, the downgrading of those who choose a different path. It's all connected to this bigger picture of Jala as this force that governs the entire universe.
Exactly. It's not just about our individual actions, but about the very fabric of reality being subject to this divine power of transformation. And you can see that the consequence for denying that truth, for rejecting God's message, is also a kind of Jala, a transformation that leads away from God's light.
It's not just about, like the saying goes, being damned if you do and damned if you don't, but it's about understanding that our choices have consequences, that we're constantly shaping our own reality, our own spiritual trajectory through the choices we make.
That's a really insightful way to put it. It's about recognizing our own agency in this cosmic dance of Jala, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
We're not just passive recipients of God's will, right?
Right.
We have the freedom to choose. And those choices, they have this ripple effect, both in our own lives and in the world around us.
This whole conversation has been incredibly eye-opening. We started with Jala, meaning made, and now we're seeing how it encompasses this whole spectrum of divine action, creation, transformation, judgment, even mercy.
It's a testament to the richness and depth of the Quran, that a single word can unlock such a vast universe of meaning.
Absolutely, and it makes you realize that there's always more to learn, always a deeper layer to uncover.
That's the beauty of exploration, isn't it?
Yeah.
Every time we come to the Quran with fresh eyes and an open heart, we're bound to discover something new and profound.
So as we kind of wrap up our deep dive here, I want to leave our listeners with a question to ponder. We've seen how Jala plays out in the Quran, but where do you see it happening in your own life? What are the subtle ways that this divine power of transformation is shaping your journey, guiding you toward your own unique purpose?
Keep your eyes open, Pay attention to those shifts and changes in your life, both the big ones and the small ones. You might be surprised by how often you encounter Jala unfolding all around you.
What a journey this has been. From the creation of the heavens to the inner workings of our own hearts, Jala reminds us that we're all part of something much greater than ourselves. This universe in constant motion, a tapestry woven with these threads of divine transformation.
And with that thought, we'll leave you to continue your own exploration of Jala. May your journey be filled with wonder and discovery.